Hi friends, and welcome to part 2 of my life workshop, what you really can do to make this world a better place. So first of all, I want to thank all of those who've already watched day 1 yesterday or during the day today. And yeah, I still want to remind you of my little lottery that I'm going to do. So I made a plan now. So everyone who's commenting is going to get into this lottery, and then I'm gonna give every name a number, and on the 4th day I'm gonna pick 3 numbers, and those of you can pick out of 3 prizes you can win. So one prize is that you can have me to give you a concert for an event or a birthday, if you like, and if you're living close, because yeah, I will come to you, but I won't pay the travel cost though. Also the same is with you can get a little free life coaching, and if it's gonna be one-to-one in personal, also the same. Travel cost is not included, but we can have a free Skype talk. And the third option is that you can invite me for if you have an event as a speaker, or if you want to give workshop to people, or maybe your family or whatever. So yeah, I'll be able to coach them. So on the 4th day, on Friday, I'm gonna pick someone. So please say hi in the comments, and then you're gonna be in the lottery. Okay, so yesterday we've been talking about the most important thing to start off with when you really want to do something good for the world, and that is actually definitely 100% you. You are the most important thing, because have you ever seen those people who just started to get vegan, or who just started to quit smoking because they had the feeling that it's a good thing to do? Actually, if you have a feeling it's a good thing to do, it's still good. But most of the people start with it because they are in a mood where they wanna where they want to do something, but actually they're not totally there. They're just stopping something, and they're just quitting something, but they don't know how to replace this feeling that they got by something. So for example, people very often smoke because they're stressed. People often very smoke because they are bored. I know that because I've been smoking my whole life until 2 or 3 years. I and yeah, so, and then they stop the smoking or whatever it is, and they don't replace this feeling. They're still having this stress, and it helped them actually reduce the stress a little bit. So this is why it's so important to work on yourself before you just go out there and stop everything. Believe me, I'm talking out of my own experience. And the next thing is, maybe you've seen some vegans who just start to get vegan, and then they criticize everyone else. And that this is just a clear sign that they don't understand that they've just been the same. Just like ex-smokers also criticizing every smoker. They've just been exactly the same, just a couple of months ago, a couple of years ago, but most of the time, most of their life, they have been meat eaters. They have been smokers. So this is just a very clear sign that they weren't ready actually to do this again. And just imagine when they feel that they would like a steak or whatever, they push this away, they get really aggressive and really frustrated. Or the smokers, I know some smokers, they can't hang around other smokers anymore because they are just afraid, you know. So you have to just quit when you're really ready to quit. And this is why yesterday I gave you the most important advice. Do something for yourself. Go and join a good seminar of someone you really trust. And I advise you to follow Free Spirit by Bruno Württemberger, or Tius One if you're English speaking. So this was what yesterday actually was about. If you don't want to join a course and you think, hey, I can do this by myself, the most important thing is that you get out of your normal zone where you are, and you really have time for yourself. And I think some people really can achieve a lot when they are all by themselves. But what do we do when we're on a holiday? You know, we get input of other media, we get input of, we go out on parties, we go out drinking or whatever. So it's not really what you can reach in a course where someone's really working hard on you and people have got experience. So this is just my advice from me to you. Yeah, and today we were going to talk about family and friends, because there's also some very important things that you have to think about when you want to do something good for the world. Because I explained yesterday that when you start with yourself, then you have this aura of feeling good. You've got enough of energy to help others. You've got enough, you're not always busy with your own problems all the time, but you can actually really make time for someone. I mean, how often does this happen? How often do we really sit there and listen to the other person? We never do, because in our mind we've got, I still have to do the groceries, or I still have to do this, I still have to do that, and I don't know how to fix my, how to pay for my rent, and I don't know this and I don't know that. So the more you work on yourself, the better you become for someone else. So it's not a selfish thing, and it's actually, in this way, it's really good to be selfish, because yeah, it's just really important. So yeah, and the next thing, of course, is then your surrounding, because those people who are close to you, they are actually the ones you influence most, and they are the ones that are influenced the most by you. So those people close around you, it's really important to yeah, to find a way to deal with this, and this is what I want to talk about today. So I believe, and something inside of me definitely knows, and probably inside of you as well, that our purpose on this earth used to be something really, really different. Yeah. I believe that we've been living on this earth a long, long time ago, and that we are actually supposed to be happy. We're supposed to live in abundance, and I mean, the abundance is everywhere. We can create food, we can, you know, we can live anywhere. We are smart enough to build clothes for every kind of weather, and I believe that we were actually made to live a happy life, and that we were made to live in a family, and that this family is supposed to be like our tribe, where we yeah, where we feel secure in. They help us to survive in our first years, and they stay our closest community. And then I believe that there are other families that you help, and that we were made to support each other, and that we were made to have a big network. So, and in this family, I believe that there was a perfect system, and like from the old days, the caveman, yeah, that it makes just naturally total sense that the man did provide the food and everything for his family, and the man went out hunting, and that the women, they have this huge gift that they can have this child inside of them for 9 months. They have this close connection that no one else can ever get, and it's just logic. It just makes so much sense that it is like that. And while I believe, that's my personal view, but I believe that while the men are out hunting, you know, the women can gather together, and this brings so much more feelings like a family. So I think this was the way it was supposed to be. And then some men came, and they decided this land is ours, or they decided this food is ours, and then they even started deciding those people are ours, and they invented the slavery. And those are the ones that are wrong. Yeah. And it's such a long time ago, and we can't even imagine. I mean, there used to be the slavery, of course. Nowadays everyone thinks, okay, this is a bad thing. But if we think about it, the land is still not ours. the food is still not ours. We still, you know, that they gave us this modern slavery and invented money to make us, to make us pay for what is actually rightful ours. Yeah, it's actually, if you think about it, it's totally crazy. And now still some people think that we are not living in a slavery anymore, but if you think about it that way, of course it is slavery, because this all is ours. It's not owned by a couple of people, and we all think that this is totally normal. Well, yeah, I'm not saying that a society without money, I think it was meant to be without money, or yeah, meant to be. Actually, it doesn't matter. Money wouldn't even be. Money is not, definitely not the problem, but the problem is who we are giving it to, because nowadays, actually, like 100 years ago, the men had to work to provide the food for their family, and but they also had to pay taxes, and the taxes go wherever. you know this is actually another topic. Tomorrow I wanted to talk about politics, but yeah, it's all together. It's all one topic in the end. So the men were working to provide for their families, to buy food that they could all actually have for free if there was no government, right? So, and then they pay also, not only do they pay money for the food, but they also pay money to the government as well. So they have to they have it's totally crazy if you think about it. So and then the females were fighting for their rights, yeah, to also be able to work and to be able to pay taxes, which is, yeah, so insanely stupid. Because if you think about the plan behind all of this, it made us seem, as women, it made it seem like we've got the same rights, but actually we fought to get into the same slavery, and we're happy about it. It's just like the carbon is it called carbon in English? I don't know. The CO2 tax we're going to pay now. They make it seem like we're fighting for something good, and then they take our money away and spend it for whoever, whatever. I don't know. I don't know if you also know this, but in Germany we've got a comedian, and he's actually even got a program on television, and it's actually funny that the television actually shows it, but they're sometimes showing where our tax money goes, and they are they're just summing up how much bullshit people are buying from this tax money. That some bridges are built and they're never finished, that some politicians use it to buy their own jet to go on holiday and whatever. And we fought for the right to be able to pay for this. So you really have to think about it. And yeah, it's logically, it's just insane. So, and the next problem, and this is all a plan by them, because the next problem was when the women started working. Of course, they had to give their babies away. They had to give their kids away, and and it's not even. This is also a totally paradox thing. It's totally insane, because they give their kids away to someone who gets paid for it, instead of doing it, that they pay someone else to watch for their kids so they can go out working. And I'm not saying, sometimes, especially women, they react a little angry when I'm talking about these things, but you just need to see the whole context of the things. I'm not saying that women shouldn't go out and develop themselves, or that they shouldn't go out and earn money, or be, I don't know, they can be whatever they want to be. But I'm saying, in my old natural meaning of our lives, there was enough time to be yourself and to work with your creativity and to do everything, because we didn't have to work 8 hours every day and then be tired and also educate our children and spend time with the kids and cleaning and everything. There was enough time to still develop yourself. So yeah, it's not against the women, it's just in this system. You have to set your priorities, I think. And when you give away your children, the plan of the government and the elite and everyone who's behind this is actually reached, because they can have your kids earlier. They can have your kids earlier to make them believe what they want them to believe. Yeah, to make good slaves out of them, so they can also not think about anything in particular, so they can, yeah, they can also function. They can also be worker bees. They can learn something, and then they have a test at school. Everyone who can remember what he's learned, he gets the good grades, and everyone else gets the bad grades. So from very early on, they tell us that we're not good the way we are, except we're good at doing what they say. And we freely hand them over to those people. Yeah. And I'm also not saying that people working in the educational system or teachers, that they're bad. I'm not saying that, because I mean, I worked in educational system. I met many people working there, but no one thinks about it. No one, they all needed a job, and they're all doing what they learned, and you've got your regulations and your rules, otherwise you will lose your job. If you lose your job, you don't have money anymore. If you don't have money anymore, you can't live anymore on this planet. Well, yeah, this is the way it is. So it's really insane. So we give the kids away, they're getting educated by other people, and they become the new slaves later on. And the longer this goes from generation to generation, the longer, the worse it's going to get, because because there are less and less people who question it. But I must admit something. This is what they planned it to be. Yeah. This is what they planned it to be. But it's actually it's changing at the moment, because more and more people like you watching, are thinking about it more and more. Yeah, just can see where I was. Oh yeah, this is a very important. So thinking about those things is actually 10,000 times more important than saving any plastic or not driving the diesel. Yeah, because like this, we're creating unhappy people, and unhappy people always cause harm. Unhappy people, they cause harm to the next person, and you can imagine this like a domino. You go out in the morning, you're in a bad mood, the next person is in a bad mood, everyone's in a bad mood. And this is the way when we produce children. I say produce because nowadays no one thinks about this anymore. When we put just new kids into this world without thinking about those things, then we're making it worse and worse and worse. And then now they want us to think about the plastic. I'm also thinking about the plastic, yeah, but I would think more about my own child. And I think from this year we've got the new law that you have to vaccinate your kids, otherwise they won't go get a place at school or at kindergarten anymore. Yeah, and this is another topic. All the stuff that's in the vaccinations, it works actually for them. It numbs the brain. It makes you sick. It makes you want to go to the doctor. It makes you be afraid of your future. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So actually the kids are going to lead a life that the elite wants them to have, and the elite is actually, they are actually the ones who who want to destroy this planet. They want to get everything out of this planet, and they want us to just work for them, and they want to get richer and richer and richer. So yeah, this long talk, and yeah, now you might want to know what you can actually do about this situation. So the bad news is that this fairy tale of how our life was supposed to be, living together all peacefully in joy and happiness, this is something that we can't just do within the next couple of years. It's something that yeah, that some people can, maybe some people are already starting this, and but you always have to be realistic. You always have to to count in all those people who are actually still sleeping at the moment, who don't realize what's going on, and those are a high percentage in the world. And then there are the others who know something, but they're still fighting. Like I explained yesterday, they're still fighting, and they create their own hell because they're living in this world and they don't know what to do, and they think they don't have the power, and they think they can't do anything. Yeah, and there is a small percentage who are already thinking, okay, this was it. I made peace with this, with myself, with the system, with everything. But actually, I decided to move somewhere else and live in a community. It was actually very interesting that yesterday someone mentioned the Tamera community. I don't know if anyone heard of this so far, but it's in Portugal, and I think it's one of the biggest self-sufficient communities. So they're creating their own power, they've got their own water system, and they're living in houses, and it's pretty luxurious, I think. And those kind of communities are all over the world, and new people are starting it, new people are founding it, but there are a lot of older ones as well. So the first thing you can do is to found something like this, or to move into something like this. But this is asked a lot for most of the people, because you would have to let go of everything, of all your securities. And we people, we're taught from generations to generations, we're taught to not trust ourselves and trust our lives anymore. So I think it's also not good if everyone would do that. But it's actually one of my dreams. Yeah, it's one of my goals, and later on I'm definitely going to do that. Either find one, or either found one. The next thing that you can do is to realize that this past, or this nice fairy tale that everyone's happy, that it's possible, and I believe that it used to be like this in the world, but that it's not, doesn't have to be, or it's not always possible in this life already. Yeah, because I see some people who are taking information on board about these things, and they're trying to take too many steps at a time, and they're trying to just think, okay, well, I'm like this now. But first of all, it takes a long time until you are like this. So many people don't know themselves so much. And the next thing is that your family and everyone around you, they maybe, if you've worked on yourself a lot, they haven't worked on themselves. And I still believe that there's always a change. When you change, that people around you also change. But it's not the same as if they would have been working on themselves. So so first of all is to be realistic, and to be really, really patient with the other people around you. But still, if you found yourself and you know what you want, and you want to be honest, you should do that as soon as possible. And maybe in a little bit slighter way than I used to do this. Yeah, maybe you could be a little bit more, not everyone at the same time, and you don't have to you know, get in there and tell everyone, well, I don't like you or whatever. But you can always, yeah, step by step, talk to the people and start to be real. And it can mean that you're gonna lose family and friends. It's very possible. It happened to me, um, because before I started working on myself, I've been lying to myself a lot and lying to people a lot, not always consciously, but I've just been, yeah, in this. Most of the people are actually in this state. You know, you say you're feeling well while you don't. Well, while you don't feel well, this is already a lie. You're trying to function, you're trying to get through the day, you hate your boss, you're not saying anything and you're not changing anything, you know, you're putting on a happy face, and when you're coming home you're feeling terrible and tired, and this needs to stop. So once you've started working on yourself in which way ever, try to stay yourself and not fall back into these old patterns. And when you do this, then just by itself people will sort themselves out. And this can be very, very sad, and it can be lonely in the beginning. But I mean, who wants friends who don't know you really, or who wants friends who don't like you when you're real? This is not friendship at all. So I think once you've let those go, that you can be open for totally new things. Yeah. So, and I think that it used to be really, really important to stay in this family for well, when it works, you know, when the system works. But most systems nowadays, they're broken, and when someone starts working on themselves, it doesn't mean that the rest is fixed. So it can be good to take a distance of those people, or if those people take distance from you, it can be good, and you can still love them, you can still spend time with them, but you should stop thinking that it's gonna be, you know, it has to be better. And very often, you know, very often when you change and you find a way to talk to them in a very nice way, it is possible that you find your way back to each other again. I'm not saying that, but it shouldn't be the goal. You know, the goal is, if you get better, then everything else will get better. And sometimes it just needs a lot of time, and we just have to remember how many generations are already living in this sick world, yeah, or in this manipulated world. um, you can only work on yourself. You can never change all the others or everything that happens. And so what you really can do is to work on these things, and also to make up your mind before you get kids. Make up your mind about all this stuff, and you can be the start that creates different children. Children are all fine when they're born, and most of the time it only happens when the family starts to get to them. And you can be the parent who decides, no, you know, I'm gonna be different to my kid. I'm gonna be honest from the start. I'm not gonna fake feelings. I'm not gonna, you know, try to be someone else. I'm gonna show my kid who I really am, and I'm gonna love them, love them, love them, love them, and not give them away, please. I just have to look at the time now, because I'm thinking about another topic already. Okay, so yeah, please decide before or if you're gonna give your kids away when you're working. And I'm not saying that everyone's a bad parent. Those people who are doing this right now, I mean, I've been working in the kindergarten. I've been yeah, how do you call it? I've been working in childcare and with little kids. I can see, you know, it broke my heart when they were bringing their small little babies from 1 year, and I could so much feel for the kids, but I could also so much feel for the parents, because they're not doing this because they want it. They're not happy. Every time the new kid came, you know, they want, yeah, not every time. There are some kids that are very special, but most of the kids, it's just a reflex. Of course, it is a natural reflex that they stay with their mommy, and they want to stay with their mommy, and they don't want to be given away to a stranger. And you know, the first couple of days, we always worked like a couple of days. The kid came together with a mom, and then the mom would go out of the room, and then in the end, the mom would leave. There is nearly no child that doesn't cry when the mom left the building. Yeah, they feel that she's gone, and it hurts them. It hurts them so much. And I watched out of the window, and I saw mommy crying as well. Or sometimes I had to send the mummies away to finally be able to get this, get this connection to the kid, because otherwise it wasn't going to work. And this was something I couldn't do anymore, because it hurt me to see them both being hurt so much. But as parents, we can make this decision. I'm not blaming those parents for not, because with all those fears of the future, and if we can pay our bills, if our kid will have a good education, it will all it all creates huge fears inside of the people, so they think they have to do this. But when you've already got a child and it's already in childcare, you could still think about it, but this is not for you. What I'm saying is, I'm speaking to the people who want to have a child, to really think about it. It's not only financially, it doesn't need to be financially stable. You have to be stable. The kids have to be need time with you. And I think at least 6 years the kids should be at home with mommy. And I'm saying mommy because naturally the kids just have this connection to their mom. They don't have this kind of connection to dad. I think dad gets in later in their life, but I think this being close to the body of their mom, this is so important. And one other very, very important thing is that kids, it doesn't matter what childcare they're in, as soon as there are more kids in the same age, they will not get the attention that they're supposed to need to get when they're young. So please, this is something from me to you. This is that is really, really important. Yeah, but I don't want to get too far, because there's still another topic. It's about education. When it's about friends, so I've just been talking about that it's possible that you lose a lot of friends, but those who stay, they will stay, they will closer. And many people have got this misbelief, and they think that if someone is your blood, if someone is your relative, that you are meant to be together, and you have to spend all your life together. And as I mentioned before, it doesn't have to be this way. You choose your friends, and whoever you have got the feeling is right for you in your life at the moment, those are the people you should hang out with. And you shouldn't go home or to anyone just because it's a family celebration, or you feel that there's a need to, because it seems bad when you're not doing it, but in the end everyone's gonna feel that you're not true. And this is creating lots of different problems and areas that you have to fix later on again. So better would be to really work on yourselves, go back to the traumas you had with them, and try to talk about it. And if it's not possible, then it's maybe not possible at the time, but you don't have to set this as your goal to fix everything. To fix all your relationships. Very often, once you fix it for yourself, the rest is going to follow. And you should have your own goals, and don't let yourself be held back by things that you've got in your mind you have to do. Okay, I'm just gonna check the time. Actually, I'm thinking we've got 5 more minutes, and I don't know, is there anyone who's got a question, maybe? No questions? Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to talk further about child education, and also we're still going to talk about the politics and about the government and things you can do to make the world a better place. And I'm structuring it really in a way what it should be structured like, you know, always to just work on the surface. It doesn't change the whole thing, so we have to start on the basic, and then we can look out what else we can do outside there. This is something that's really important to me. And also tomorrow I'm gonna make some advertisement about myself as well, but only for a couple of minutes. And and then on the 4th day I leave it open. I see if there are any more questions or any more topics that you want to talk about. There's gonna be the lottery, where you can win something sometime with me. Okay, so I'm gonna say goodbye for tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow, 6 o'clock.